Hi, everybody. This is Gail, and I just want to welcome you to week 8, and you are almost done. So, you've done all your papers up to this point, and so hopefully you've been doing your revisions as you go along. So, this week is about piling everything into your final paper. So, you're going to take all your sections of your paper, not your PowerPoint. You're going to take all your sections and put them together into a final project. You're going to take out the intro and conclusion on each section and just have one for the final project paper. So for the final project, you have one intro and one conclusion. For your final paper, you do not need to do a table of contents. That's not required. You do not have to, oh, I think you do have to do an abstract. I'd have to look up again. I think they changed that and you do have to do an abstract on it. Sorry, my bad. So you do your title page like usual, and then you do an abstract, which in APA guidelines is a little different. It's single spaced. It's a little bit different. And in it, you also do your keywords. And you did that along in your literature review summary paper, I think. So look up how to do that in APA, how to do an abstract. If you have Perla, it will set it up for you. Okay, then you're going to go into your main paper. Make sure you have page numbers in the right-hand corner. And you do need to use headers, just like all through this class, but especially now. I have a long paper to read and grade, and I want those headers to go so I know exactly where to go to find that you've done the section, to grade it, and move on. If I can't find the section, I will probably just turn it back to you. If there are no headers, I'm going to have this big, long, ongoing paper. I'm not going to be able to find where you put anything. I'm not going to search for it. I'm just going to turn it back to you. And it's week 8, so you're not going to have time to do it again. So it's just not good. You need to use the headers that are required by APA 7th edition, and we talked about it all semester long. So put them in there. Those divide up each of your papers into the required criteria for each paper, and you're going to also use them for your sections of papers so I can find where everything's at. So you had them all together, right? And then at the end, you do your reference page in APA with hanging indents, the whole APA, where you put the title of the article, just the first letter and proper nouns are capitalized, the rest of it isn't. The journal name is in italics. You do your issue number, all of that, and then you put where you retrieved it, or do an ISBN or a DOI, I think it is, that you put there, or just put the link so that I can go to it and find it. I believe that this is turned in to turn it in. They didn't used to do it, or to Lobstrite, because of course it's going to show all your old papers, but I think they are now doing that. So if it shows a high similarity rate, I'm going to go ahead and check those and just see what it's about. Okay, if you don't have to submit it to Lobstrite, then you don't have to. I still have the option of doing that if I have some questions, and I will do it if need be. But just see if the assignment makes you do it or not. Okay. Then, after your reference page, you have your appendices. So in your appendices, you're going to put all the appendices that you've had so far, plus you're going to have your lit review table in there. You're going to have an IRB application example. You can use the one that I posted an announcement of a few times. You're going to need an informed consent, and this is actually customized to your own project. So the IRB one is just the example that I've given you, or another one you can find, or there are ones from your facility you can get. The informed consent actually has to be customized. And the reason is I want to see verbiage in there about your project. And also, if you're using a vulnerable population, that would be like a pediatric group, anybody with disabilities, you can look up a list of who is vulnerable populations. Then you have to have a special consent in there because, of course, pediatric patients, they cannot sign their own consent. So you'd have to have a place for a guardian and define who that guardian is. And you can find examples of informed consents for vulnerable populations on the internet, okay? Your other appendices are going to be, remember, an appendices per page. So if you have a multiple page, like your lit review table, it goes on and on. But if you have a short one, like your budget, that's just one per page. Then your timeline, one per page. So your appendices, besides informed consent, IRB application, lit review table, your budget, and it needs to be detailed. It can't be, hey, this whole thing is going to cost $10,000. I need a breakdown of what that is. Your timeline, and some people have been really creative about how they do that with nice little graphs. I appreciate that. Or you can put it just in an Excel table or a regular table. So your timeline, when you're going to do stuff, when you're going to initiate the approvals, even before that, when you do your lit review, your approvals, your presentations to educate people on this, when you're going to implement it, when you're going to start collecting data, when you're going to analyze your data, when you're going to present your results, things like that, all need to go in there. So then you have a list of resources, the things you're going to need to do this. Um, is that it? I think so. Oh, and your conceptual model. People always ask what that is. That's your change model that you did in, I think, section D. It was you wrote about your change theory, what you were going to use, then you customized it to your own project, and then you made a model. So I can't have you just cut and paste your change model out of a book or off of a website. You have to customize it. So you're going to be using some diagramming stuff, a circle, a triangle, some arrows, things like that to create your own. And many of you did very well on that. So you're going to make that part of your appendices as well. So that is your paper. It needs to be turned in by the due date because I do a really quick turnaround on your grades. There is no time for late papers because I'm going to be grading. And if I don't have a paper to grade, then it's a 0. If I have to turn your paper back to you because there's plagiarism issues, I hope not, then it's a 0 because there's no time for you to redo it. If you don't use headers and I'm just totally overwhelmed trying to find where you put everything, I'm not grading it. So please note those things. Most of all, I wish you guys the best of luck as you continue on. Most of you guys are going to be going into your internship after this. That'll be really eye-opening for many of you, I'm sure. And it's going to be hopefully the fun part of your course because you've really worked so hard to date. Then you go into graduation and at graduation time. And before, I want you to thank all of those people that have helped you get here. Your family has made sacrifices, your partners, your friends have made sacrifices when you've had to say, no, I can't do that right now. Somebody else has maybe had to take on your chores because you've got your face in the laptop. So thank all those people and remember that the balance is everything. You have to have those people in your lives. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have, what kind of great jobs you have. It doesn't matter if you don't have those people in your life, then it doesn't really all matter. So be sure to keep that at the top of your list, even though you're going to be able to go chase after great jobs and all of that now. Keep in mind your priorities and what's important. You guys take care and thank you very much. Call me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.